If you struggle compositionally with controlling the viewer's eye, this is the video for you. I'll show you how to use warm and cool colors for that very control in this little citrus vignette. I'm showing here the two reference photos. The first at the bottom is the original, and the top one I recropped and added cool to help me understand how I want to interpret it. Keep the background very cool to enable us to make the limes very warm, which will make them pop off of the page or come more to the foreground. Just added a variation on the green, although you can see it is also a cool green. And here I'm introducing a little bit of warmth because I want some of those leaves to appear closer alongside the limes. And I do not want a lot of detail in the background at all. That's another great trick, to have the focus less important than what we want in front. So we're going to utilize that along with our temperature to make sure that our limes have a lot of detail, along with this super warm green, which I've added green gold. Be sure to keep an area of the paper without painting, and that will act as that highlight, which again, that's going to make something appear in front. Where the darks I'm adding in the back are more like shadows deeper into our composition. So this first stage, you're really just trying to define where the shadows are, where the highlights are. You're not worried about any detail. We're truly just using temperature to try to narrate our citrus vignette. I should note that I've sped up the video to 2 times, so I'm not painting quite as fast as it appears. Take your time, relax, and be very deliberate about your strokes. So being careful that all the greens I'm using on the limes have a bit of that warmer cast, even if they're darker. That's going to allow them to stay in the foreground. The paper I'm using is quite textured, so I'm just stippling in a few darker spots to suggest the texture of the limes. And this lime is farther back, so it has some deeper pigments and tones, although, as you can see, they still carry a bit of that warmth. So here I'm just glazing over some raw sienna light for, again, more of that warmth. And always remember something that's further behind. If it's darker, it will help to pop things off that's in front of it. So in this case, the star of our show here is that certain lime, which is kind of in that top 1/3 of our composition. As I add layers, I can add detail. So I'm just providing a little more texture. And now I can add some veining onto the leaves. And you don't have to be that detailed. Again, these are all background elements, not the star of our show. But we do want to let the viewer know that this is a leaf back there, not another lime. So some detail is required. And I'll do the same thing here. And I'm varying the temperature on the leaves to be cool and warm depending on where they fall in our composition. So in this case, this leaf is touching our star of the show, so I definitely wanted to give it a little bit of a warm cast. And I'm just using our trick of making it darker to allow that to really pop off. Still want to retain the curvature of the lime, so I'm just shading and blending as I go. And you can see there was more of that raw sienna light just for that glowy warmth. And you kind of have to work around your layout and add it as you go. Things might need to be darker if something else gets built up. So just keep scanning your layout and decide what you need. I like to use this little shader brush. It just gives me some nice sharp edges. And I wanted a lot of drama right here because this is a background element that really is going to set off those 4 limes that I have. And the farther I move away from them, the less detail I need. As I always remind you, our viewers are smart and they understand that there's leaves that are connected with these limes, and that's what we're adding. Also, another great technique for having a variety of textures. So you can see I have some sharp lines and I have some soft blends. So that combination is going to make it feel balanced and interesting. So I'm feeling like we're getting toward the end here. So I'm just putting those darkest darks. Where do they fall? How many do I need? What else needs adjusting before I can call it? I also liked in the reference photo that there was kind of a bluish glow around some of the branches. And so I'm trying to pick up some of that without it being that obvious. So I'm just adding in that French ultramarine, and then I'm giving it some nice blends. And that's another cool element to the background that's going to reinforce the cool versus warm. I hope you now feel like you can use temperature to add that extra depth that your paintings were missing or lacking, and that you're excited to try it. As always, I appreciate you joining me. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. And the most fun part, don't forget to sign your work. Job well done.